We're very excited to have the coaches back with us. I know that one of the things we are talking about today is parents on the side of the field. We're going to get there at the end of the show, but this is one you don't want to miss. Coaches, how was your weekend or your week? I mean, my gosh, it's Thursday. How's your week been?
Well, I've had a great week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Worked a little bit too hard. But
Kerry, do you know that he worked one day this week? And it's been
that's
so
why I
hard
worked
for
too
him.
hard.
It's too hard. Too hard. And Bash, how was your break from school?
Geez, it was so nice. I actually ended up going down to Northwood on Saturday to watch the Jeppy game. So although
nice.
my team wasn't playing, I couldn't keep myself away from the rugby and had a great morning down at Northwood watching all the rugby against Jeppy from Joburg.
Excellent.
Yep.
All right, gents, so we're going to get straight into it. I know you got a lot to talk about, so off you go. And I'm very excited that when you ever need a music break, I am seeing Rubber Duck and I'm seeing Guns and Toesers, fam.
Absolutely.
If you missed last week, you see Coach Plum arrived with slops and a vest, and everyone just started talking about his guns.
Big guns and big toes.
Guntree, and then Guns and Toesers. But now he's covered up today, so we're very
I've covered up,
disappointed.
but I'll change it. I'll go back to my get the guns out if I get some good feedback that they want them back.
Well, of course we want them back.
Yeah, well, we don't know that.
I definitely don't want the toes back because
Well,
that's
look,
not
I've had
a
an
good
operation
side,
on my
though.
toes after you're mentally scarred.
We are live and on TikTok and already on TikTok. Fem saying, "Yo, coach, you're looking very smart today."
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's-
very nice.
Bash gets no feedback.
How come
eh?
I don't get any feedback?
I don't know. Maybe.
Bash, so I think you look lovely. That's a very nice shade
That's
on
so
you.
nice. Thank you, Kerry. I
This is
appreciate
Radio
it.
Plays It In. It's TMO. We're live until 1. All right, boys, over to you.
All right, so the school segment this morning is obviously there was half term for the private schools on the weekend, so there were only 3 games locally. I've already spoken about the Northwood Jeppy game. Northwood running out 30 points to 6 winners there against Jeppy.
That game must have been, because it was close, but we left about 20 minutes to go, didn't we?
Even less, probably 15 minutes to go and there was nothing in it. But
Yeah.
I think Jeppy had picked up a couple injuries just
Yeah.
before we left,
Oh,
so
that was-
possibly the depth of that Jeppy squad had been
Yeah.
tested.
Looks 2 concussions looked good.
Yeah,
didn't it?
both on
I
stretchers.
hate seeing that.
Yeah.
Boys carried off.
But those tours, it's a difficult tour, when you think it's only from Joburg, but you spend the whole of Friday on the bus, you arrive at the school, you get billeted out to a family that you don't know, you pitch up in the morning, you play the game and you're straight back on the bus. So although it's a great weekend, it's tough for those kids.
Tough.
It's always, kids all react differently to being away from home and that kind of stuff. So
I used to get real homesick.
I can imagine.
I missed my mum when I was billeted out.
And then you spend the
That's
rest of
it.
your
Don't
life
make
away
eye
from
contact
home.
with me when you say that. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't know. I'm like, do you want a hug?
You remind me of my mum.
Do I?
No, I'm
Oh,
joking.
excellent. Come here, my boy. Give mommy a hug.
He was so
Don't give me a
homesick
hug.
that he spent the rest of his working life away from home.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that makes no sense
No,
to me.
well, I mean, yeah, but
Taranaki
as a kid,
nomad.
I was I was terrible. I used to get homesick. I used to miss the food and everything. Like it was, not out of my bed. I was horrible.
I was the same young, but then I grew out of that
Yeah.
quite quickly
Boys,
as well.
until what age did you either sleep with like a parent or a teddy or something?
A teddy.
I'm just-
Oh no, I had a thing that I used to rubbing my lips with this little blanket type
Like
thing.
of your blankie?
Yeah.
You had that?
Yeah, I had a little thing like that.
It's with you now.
Yeah. No, I gave it up last week.
Last week.
No,
That and you're covering your toes. And
yeah.
Bash, you?
No, I always can remember sleeping in my own bed, but not too far away from Mom's door.
Yeah,
so
no, I hear you.
so
and then
yeah.
when you started life saving down the beach, you never used to sleep in your own bed.
No, then we were
Then you were sleeping in a lot of
we were
beds.
travelling. We're
We were
tourists.
travelling.
Do you know that Plum got asked to name a horse the other day for Hollywood Bets?
Yeah.
And the reason he was asked is because the Hollywood Devon Heifer, good mate of ours,
Yeah.
they're bringing in horses from all around the world to try and grow the bloodlines of the horses in South Africa. And because they had bought this horse out from New Zealand, they asked Plum to name it. And he called it Taranaki Nomad.
Yeah.
Because he's from Taranaki and his whole life he's been a nomad with
Yeah.
rugby, floating around
That's a
the
good
world.
name.
And it's
That's
a
a
very
great
good
name.
name.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, so if you in about probably 6 months, 7 months, you're going to see it on the.
I
on
really
the
thought
tracks.
you were going to stop at Taryn, and I'm like, you got to name a horse and you named
Yeah.
it Taryn.
It's an aggressive little.
It
bugger
bits him.
too, eh?
It
But
walks in.
Stop it.
I went
Yeah,
and
yeah.
see it. Yeah, but
Is it a filly or a boy?
It's got a bad attitude,
What do
just
you call
like
the
its
boy?
namesake.
it has to be a filly if it's got a bad attitude.
Yeah, Taryn. Listen, I'm not gonna. Anyway, guys, we digress. Go back to rugby. Congrats on the Hawks.
Second game, Glenwood versus Westville. Glenwood have been struggling this year. They're in a rebuilding phase. Westville, one of the top schools in Natal currently, and were Natal champions last year. So they ran away with that one, 50 points to 3. And the third game was Clifton versus St. David's from Joburg. And Clifton also been struggling of late, and St. David's managed to win that one 23-17, which leads us...
Quite close.
Yeah, it is quite close, but those games, those Clifton, St. David's, St. Albans games are generally quite close. But I think for St. David's, that's a massive win, being away from home. And like I've mentioned, travelling on the bus and getting billeted out, any win away from home like that is really good. And that leads us into this weekend's games. There's some massive games of rugby in Natal this weekend, starting with the main one, which
4 weeks
is
to go.
4 weeks to go. Yeah, obviously there's a couple teams in Natal that play third term rugby, but not a lot. There's a major focus that goes into soccer in the third term nowadays. So I think there's only 3 schools that play third term rugby, and they don't play many games. I think it's 2 or 3 games max. So pretty much 4 weeks of the local season left. The big one being College versus Hilton in Maritzburg College this weekend. Hilton currently unbeaten and top Natal school on the South African rankings. So a massive crowd expected up at Maritzburg College on Saturday. We played them on Old Boys Day last year, and I remember the skydivers landing on the field before our game, and it was a massive occasion.
Were they supposed to, or were they?
They just missed you think they missed the Orobi landing strip and landed at Maritzburg College.
I mean, you just can't take stuff for granted.
No, it was well planned. I mean, there were
private schools, eh? My gosh.
No, this was at Maritzburg College, which is not a private school, but they are playing against Hilton this weekend, and that's going to be a massive clash because College are pretty much an informed team. They beat Northwood 2 weeks ago on their Old Boys Day, and now obviously Hilton are the only unbeaten side in Natal, so that's going to make for a great spectacle, and I think it's anybody's game. It's going to be a cracker. The other Old Boys Day on the weekend is DHS versus Westville. All right, DHS at home, very, very strong rugby school all around DHS, and Westville, as I said, last year's champions in Natal. So the scene is set for a clash of note there, and anybody's game as well. Both sides are loaded with Natal Schools players and well coached with Peter Engeldow for DHS and Dusty Noble through Westville. So like a massive clash going, and it's really going to be interesting to see who walks away there with the spoils. Then up at my neck of the wood at Bothers Hill, Kearsley take on Northwood. Also going to be a super clash. Both sides like to throw the ball around and play some positive rugby, so it's going to be a really interesting day up in Kearsley. Michael House are hosting Pretoria Boys, so that's also one for the local Michael House people to get excited about. Pretoria Boys have not had the best season that they've had in a long time, and Michael House are a good side this year. Plummy, you just spent a couple of days up at Michael House. How did you find that?
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, James Fleming, a friend of ours, invited me up to spend some time with their coaches and their players, and got to eat some good food in the hall with the kids and meet a lot of the boys. And the coaches were really enthusiastic and enjoyed the little bit of feedback I gave around their coaching. And I took the first team for a little bit of a session, so they should win this weekend after that.
Well, let's have a look. They should win against Pretoria Boys. In comparison because Plum was there.
Plum was there.
See, doesn't have confidence.
Hold on, I haven't finished. I've still started on you asked me how my experience was, and I'm busy.
Okay.
So then I went to Forden Spa for a massage and had a little crack in the flotation pool. I don't know if you've ever done that, but if you're up that way and you ever want to have a beautiful experience, we'll go to the Forden Spa. It was amazing. Good food across the road at the Blueberry Cafe.
Oh, yes. Yes. What berry? Something berry.
Something berry, yeah.
Damn it. But exactly that.
Yeah.
And apparently the flotation device. Have you ever been in
I haven't, but I heard.
This is the same thing, but it's not a device. It's actually a pool.
No. So I meant the flotation chamber, sorry. Apparently it's the closest. Now hear me out before you say anything. Apparently it's the closest you can get to what it's like to be in the womb, boys. Keep it clean.
Wow. I thought it brought back a memory.
So I see.
Yeah.
Because
you can't remember what happened yesterday. How are you going to remember what happened?
Bash, there's no sound. it's complete. I mean, I don't know if
A
they
little bit
play
of
music.
music,
Yeah,
little
so
bit of
sometimes
music,
they play music through the water, but you're completely weightless and it's dark and you just are floating there like the womb of a mother.
And in
They
the
should put
water,
some
they've got
Jaws
some
music
lovely,
on that. Do 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 do.
Well,
It's only
that's
a
why we're part
metre.
of nice things, yes?
only a metre deep. But, so not even a metre deep, half a metre. But they've got also the antioxidant stuff in the water, which helps detox you.
Oh,
or
wow.
detoxidant stuff, whatever. But you come out feeling $1 million, and the massage was lovely, and people were beautiful up there. So definitely a place that I'm going to go back to.
Amazing. Before you carry on, just quickly on TikTok right now, Bashi doesn't need to show his guns as he's all class, style, and sophistication.
There we go.
And one very smooth operator coming from Arohanui from New Zealand. Arohanui. I'm not sure if you can look on that screen there, Coach. You might be able to see the name. I'm not sure if maybe you know this person. Are you seeing it?
Oh, that's our mate. That's Farley.
Oh, you see, Farley Hookapara, good mate. Hello,
Farley.
Farley. Good to hear
Farley.
from you, my mate.
Yeah, yeah. He's one of my greatest friends.
Played rugby with us in Crusaders when
Oh, no
came across
ways.
many years back, and
Entertain. We'll actually play one of his songs. He's a singer.
Really?
I've got a CD. Maybe we can.
We could have an interview with him even sometime.
Well, when
via-
it comes out one day. it'd be
No, but we
great.
can, we are digital, we can do a WhatsApp call. Guys, I'm digressing from sports, don't let me talk.
all right. So next one is St Charles versus St Stithians. Another touring side heading to the Natal Midlands is St Stithians up against St Charles. And the last one on the weekend, the sixth fixture, is Clifton against Glenwood, both of whom have been struggling. And I think Glenwood will probably be too strong for Clifton, and will be in need of a much sought after win. So that's the look for the weekend.
Okay, so
College
before you
Hilton.
carry on, what about the predictions? What are your predictions?
The first three games for me are it could go either. So College
way?
Hilton, I'm not going to put
Why?
my name to that. It's just too close. It could go either way.
You must have a better idea. Must be
Well, okay, if I have to nail
Okay,
it,
do it.
College at home.
College, cool.
And
Next
also
one.
because Hilton are unbeaten, so the pressure sits
College,
with
next one.
DHS Westville, DHS at home.
DHS, okay. College, DHS.
Kersney Northwood, my old school Northwood versus my current team I'm coaching, Kersney.
Please say Kersney.
Kersney up at Bothers Hill are
Please
tough
say
to beat,
Kersney.
so that we're going to
You're
get
gonna
one
win.
over them up
Okay,
at the hill. All right, and then Michaelhouse I think will beat Pretoria Boys, St Charles I think will beat St Stithians, and I think Glenwood will beat
All right,
Clifton.
we'll review that next week.
All right. Perfect. All right, let's do that.
So you don't have any predictions, Coach?
I'm going to back Kersney.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're coming up to watch, so I'm
Just
glad
because
to
I
hear
know
that.
you. Okay.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Woo, you two. Yalla. Yes?
Okay.
Are those our fixtures
That's
for
it for the weekend.
That's
Yeah.
it for the,
So
that's it for the week. Well done, Bashi.
Would you like to have a song break or are you still good to go, boys?
No, I think we, actually a song break would be nice, eh? After that, we're exhausted.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, we're not used to working this hard.
No.
No, it's not. Look, we've got the Thai ladies inside. Just needed a massage in the next 5 just to calm
and
down.
he's just come out the spa pool, what
Yeah,
he's just
exactly.
said, that he's
We need a
exhausted
14
after
spa
one
here for
day's
you.
work up in Michaelhouse.
It is 17 minutes after 12. This is Radio Plays It In. The boys get to choose the songs, you see. Now, this song, Rubber Duck, for the first time. Whose song choice
That's
was this?
mine.
Was it yours?
Yeah.
And how come, Bashford? Why?
Well,
why
you
Rubber Duck?
reminded me last week that you had been away and they were there and they worked with you, and I said to you, I love Rubber Duck. You know, I've heard a
Yes.
lot of their music, and it brings a local touch as well, which is I like South African band. And
I
Are
love
they a
this
new
one.
band?
no, they're not new. They've been around for a while.
Yes, Radio Plays It In. It's John and it's Grant. It's TMO. And coming up next, it's Rubber Duck for the first time. It's Bash's choice this afternoon, 22 minutes.
Great
after
song.
12. Great song. Great song. Very proudly local. Rubber Duck for the first time. 22 minutes after 12, you're listening to TMO, the man's observations with our coaches, John Plumtree and Grant Bashford. And this next conversation is one that's either going to hit you in the good feels or you're going to not enjoy these men afterwards, because parents and the sports field and those moms and dads on the side of the rugby field or any sports field that are like screaming banshees. What do you two have to say about parents on the side of the field? The floor is all yours. Hold back nothing.
Well, you know what? I think we've all been exposed to it, and we've certainly been parents on the side of rugby fields, and we've seen how people behave, and it's not all good. So I studied teaching and a bit of psychology, and they've actually spent a lot of time doing experiments and that. So they've actually got different types of sideline parents that they've speak about. Number 1 to 5. Number 1 being called the screamer. And that effect on that child, if you're a screamer parent, every type of parent, their behaviors has some kind of effect on their children. The screamer, for example, which is the first type, the effect on the child is anxiety, embarrassment, and performance fear. On the B type is a technical overcoach. The third type is the political parent. The fourth type, the living through my child parent. And the fifth type, the silent pressure parent. And all of those come with effects on their children. So I'm not sure where we want to start with this, but maybe Plum, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a hard case, isn't it? You're walking across the field, the game hasn't started yet, and you bump into a couple and you have a chat to them, you walk away going, man, they're such nice people, a lovely conversation with them. And then 5 minutes later, you see them on the sideline doing one of those four, and you just go, my God, they just changed personality in the last 5 minutes.
What happened to them, exactly?
Yeah, like, it's just incredible. I mean, for me, and there's just enough pressure on the boys, isn't there, at schoolboy level. You know, you go around all these grounds around the Tell now and you see, you know, big crowds turning up to watch. You know, we're seeing schools using their first teams as sort of the flagship for their school. And, you know, that creates a certain amount of pressure, doesn't it, on the team. And then now we're dealing with professional rugby coaches that are coming in and get highly paid, so there's pressure on them to perform. All of that pressure comes back to the boys. And what stresses me out the most is that the schools don't have the resources to look after that type of pressure for these boys. So let's all face it, some of our boys are mentally tougher than others, and some can deal with that pressure, but and might thrive in it. But the other kid, he might, you know, if we lose, he's thinking, wow, I mean, I've just let the school down, I've let my parents down, you know, and start not feeling good about himself. And how are we ever going to get the best out of that child? All of that when he's like 17. Like, do me a favour. I've coached men all my life that struggle with the pressures of professional rugby. These school teams are starting to get like professional teams. They're school teams. You're supposed to enjoy that the stage of your career as a player, isn't it? It should be fun.
And that's the reality, you know. Not just what's changed massively of late is obviously the broadcasting, the TV with these school kids, you know, let alone social media. But there's also a new thing called the Super Schools app, which means every single game of school sport is televised through an app called Super Sports Schools. And as of today, there's been 19 million total views this year. And that equates to 317 million consumption minutes. Now, how at the age of 17 years old are you supposed to deal with that kind of pressure, let alone coming from parents? So there a lot of school counsellors are saying that sport has lost its way. The space that was once reserved for play, growth and friendship has turned into pressure performance cultures. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much it, isn't it? I mean, again, it's like when you're that age, you represent your school, and it's very, you know, everyone's very proud of you for doing it, because there's a massive emphasis on the old boys in most of these schools, and they all want to see their first 15s do well, but they're just boys. Let's just keep it real, keep it what it is. They're just school boys playing footy. And if they're good enough to kick on to have professional rugby careers and go to bigger franchises, then that's great. But the pressure just goes up from there, doesn't it?
It does. You know, and I always say to my boys before they go out, I love you before you run on, and I'll love you when you come back, regardless of the result. You know, and that's, for me, a lot of these parents, I've mentioned the 5 types, and it's interesting when you meet the parents and you watch them, you can actually categorize them into which type of parent they are. And the other thing around that, if we look at what good sideline behaviors look like, which is another study that was done, the healthiest parents do is they watch quietly, they encourage effort, they avoid tactical instruction, they regulate their emotions, they support coaches publicly, and they discuss performance calmly afterwards. And if you get that all right, these are the type of the behaviors that you'll develop in your children, according to the psychologist, as number 1, resilience, number 2, independence, and number 3, intrinsic motivation. And is that not what we're after?
Exactly what we're after, mate.
Gents, we just have a question I want to get into before we go past. First of all, you just mentioned Bash, 317 million consumption minutes, right?
Yes.
Just to let you know, that means that parents, coaches, scouts, and fans have watched 602 years of school sports. That's what that in the consumption minutes, if you had to put those many minutes into years, 602 years of watching. And then there was a question that came through for you coaches. It's a kind of double-edged sword here. What is the difference between supportive and toxic? And I think you've just answered that kind of. And also as
Mm.
coaches, do you ever and or often have to send parents off the field?
Well, we are going to do that from now on. There's a new rule coming out where the parents, abusive parents on the sidelines in the towel will be red carded. And I've got to go to their car and they've got to sit in the car for 20 minutes.
Kerry, if you believe that, you'll believe everything.
Oh, man, come on! Of course I
What a
believe
great
that.
idea.
And then you're not allowed to take your phone either because it's quiet.
And you're also not allowed to beer.
It's absolutely no. It's quiet time for that.
Quiet time.
Yeah, they've got to just sit there and reflect on their behaviour.
I mean, but that
It's a
should be
red
done.
card. It's gonna come in. I'm gonna bring it in.
Yeah.
Bash, with your situation and coaching with Kersney, have you ever had any situations with parents who've crossed a line and you felt like you had to step in?
You know what? For me, I've been doing this for a long time, so I don't really get that involved with parents. But I have had a few instances where on Sunday your phone rings and you start getting messages what you think the selection should look like and the mistakes that you've made and that type of thing. But at the end of the day, we know the kids better than anybody. We spend time with them, and selection's always nebulous. No one ever gets it right. If we all pick the Springbok side for the first test, we're going to pick a different side to the one that Rassie picks, and that's always going to be the case. Other things at schoolboy level, the behaviour, maybe a kid's been suspended and he's not allowed to be selected because he's been naughty. So there's so many things that go on with selection. But
what about the referee? What about the referee? And because I've been at these schoolboy games and the referee's been getting dealt to. The referees are getting paid like probably 200 rand a game.
Yeah.
Just probably for their petrol money.
These
guys volunteers.
Yeah. I just mentioned earlier to the guys off before we came on that there's a beautiful sign up at Mshlali Primary School as you walk in that reads, "Please remember, these are children. This is a game. The coaches are teachers. The referees are human. And this is not the World Cup." And that puts everything in perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well done, whoever made that sign.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's also too, some of these big school days, there's also alcohol, isn't there, on the sideline, being served in the marquees and stuff like that. So
it is, and they've had issues in these big old boys games in the past. So they do generally close the pubs during the game, but the kids have been nailing it from 9 o'clock and that before the young old boys.
Yeah.
So it becomes a logistical nightmare. You have to have security. But it's just, for me, it's pretty sad where the game's gone. At the end of the day, they are skilled kids running out on Saturday, doing their best. And like we were speaking about just now as well, the one thing that I'm going to arrive up there this afternoon, and they're just going to have written an exam. These kids are also there to write.
The pressure of schoolwork.
Yeah, I mean, rugby's a secondary thing. They're there to pass exams. So they're busy with the half term. I'm going to get up there, demand 2 hours out of them, and they'll be running back from my practice to go and study for the next exam, which is going to happen tomorrow, which happens to be quite important because they're trying to get into universities for next year.
So imagine you put your game plan into place earlier in the week and they've still got to go and do studies. So it's studying your game plan for the week, which is probably pretty simple.
It's very simple because they're rugby players.
Right.
And there's forwards. So you have to try and help the forwards by keeping it simple.
Yeah, it's important you keep it simple.
So while we're on this, just to finish off on this quickly, so the irony of the whole thing is when do kids perform at their best? And the number one thing when kids perform at their best is when mistakes are safe. So when they're comfortable to go out there and play, that if they make a mistake, they're not going to get shouted on by coach or parent or mom or dad or granny or grandpa, where the support is stable and approval is not performance dependent. So those are powerful things for me, that these kids are under massive pressure, not just on the rugby field. And when I'm talking rugby, it's because this is a rugby show. It's the same on the hockey field. It's the same on the soccer field. It's the same on the cricket field. It's just really the behavior of parents at times. They fall into categories and they really need to look at themselves.
But some of the coaches also, Beshi, need to. They're not coaching. They're not coaching. Franchise or professional level or anything like that, are they?
No.
These kids aren't getting paid.
No.
My son's at university and in America playing basketball, and he gets paid for it. So there's a certain amount of pressure that he's under, which you can accept. But these kids are just this 16, 17, 18. They're not used to this type of.
And talking like that, I think what you're talking about is that the children are not professional, but in a lot of the schools, the systems that have been put in around them are.
Yeah, paid coaches.
So you've got these half-paid coaches, right? One of which I'm not, by the way, around them.
You might get too much.
No, but it's not just the coaches, it's the director of rugbies, it's the conditioning coach, it's the medical staff. I mean, we're talking $1 billion industry in schoolboy sports rugby around the country, and it is massive. And I think a lot of that grows into the parents where they're playing against their mates whose buddies at another school, and it becomes an ego thing, and there's more to it than just a rugby game often. But we've got to make sure that we remember that they are kids.
So if a young fella has a bad game, doesn't go play very well, and the team loses, and he's a boarder, and he's going back into that environment at school for the whole week without the support of his family around, mum and dad aren't there, and he's going back in there and he's just had a bad game. Is there a chance that he could be getting bullied a bit because of that performance and that? Do you think that could happen?
I don't think it would happen internally, but where it does happen is on social media. So the minute a kid has a bad, just remember, all these games are televised now, and kids are brutal. So the mistakes are played over and over again on social media, and there's comments under that for all the kids that are doing that. So it's very different to our day.
Well, we know that if kids do have off days, there's going to be half the players playing this weekend, or they're going to lose.
That's right.
All right, and they're going to go back to their schools. And so if your parents, teachers, anyone in the organisation of schools, just make sure those kids are looked after.
And you talk like that, and we look at professional rugby teams. I think last week Bristol lost by 90 points. That's a professional rugby team. So you've got these teams that are highly professional. I mean, the weekend's final was a 40-pointer, so that's against the second best team in Europe, and so it happens. It's not life and death. But I think the key for us is to make sure that we never, ever put the result over the mindset or the mental state of the children.
Absolutely. So the big challenge from us here at Plays It In is for the parents that are on the sidelines this weekend, just be cool.
As a high-level coach, would you rather have coachable kids with emotionally stable families or highly talented kids with difficult parental systems?
Sure.
What would you prefer? What do you prefer dealing with? So
I wasn't actually listening, Bash, sorry.
No, he's looking out the window. That's why I asked him. As a coach, would you prefer to coach coachable kids with emotionally stable families or highly talented kids with difficult parental systems?
Well, the first one.
But interesting, you might not win as many games as you would, because we need those talent. Every team needs a James Small.
No, I don't want any talent. I'll coach them to be their best.
Oh, wow.
I just need hard workers. Yeah. Great work ethic.
You've just come out of the Sharks with a whole Springbok team, and that's pretty much that's the talent. We won't go there, but it's a similar type of.
You went there.
We're going to move. In fact, we're going to move.
He wants to move on with the song.
Before you guys move on, and we're going to the song right now. Just a reminder that there are many young men and women. I mustn't forget that women also play sports, but specifically now we are talking about the boys rugby, who they don't feel like they are strong enough to speak up to dad or mom and say, please stop, you're embarrassing me. And vice versa, mom or dad may not even take them seriously, but they really respect the two of you. So just before we go into the song, if you guys, again, one last time, just to the parents, the behavior on the side of the field, what would be the ideal behavior of a parent on the side of the field, just in case there is a parent listening that goes, okay, look, from these two, I do respect them and I'm going to change my ways. What would you say?
Well, what was the fifth one you had there?
The silent pressure parent. But if you look at the traits
the one that how we want them to behave.
Okay, so watch quietly, encourage effort, avoid tactical instruction, regulate your emotions, support the coaches publicly, and discuss performance calmly afterwards. And for me to answer that simply, Kerry, is I just think parents need to be parents.
And go buy the ref a Coke after the game, give it to them. Imagine that.
No, well, that
you
happens.
just refereed a game of rugby and some parent walks over and gives the referee a Coke. How would that be?
Yeah, yeah.
Not cool. Embarrassing.
They've got coaches and they've got other people, and all the kids want is to just when they finish the game, regardless of how it's gone,
Clap
is
them
have
all
this-
off,
clap
win or
them off.
lose, coaches clapping.
Be a parent. Don't be that coach or the tactical guy. Just be a mom or a dad and give them love and support.
Great.
Yes.
So
yes.
Play ZN Challenge, be better.
Yes, be better. All right, talking about being better. Who is this now? We've got, I think I know who it is. Guns N' Roses. November Rain. Coach, was this your choice or did Bash dedicate it to you?
November Rain.
Yes.
No, that's Plum's one.
That was mine.
Was it yours?
Yeah, I love
So-
November.
My one was, no, it's coming, is patience, because to be friends of his, you need a lot of patience.
Stop it, you guys love each other. Did you guys know that? November Rain, written by Axl Rose, it was released February 1992.
Wow.
That's a flippin' long time ago,
Okay, I
eh?
don't remember that.
It said Axl Rose had been working on it as early as 83, so 9 years it took him to get this together. And now we have it playing live on Radio Play ZN. By the way, it was also the longest song ever to reach the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100. So it's an 8-minute song.
Okay, we'll
That's the
say
end of the
bye
show,
as
then.
well.
Shall we say cheers?
Yeah, exactly.
Should we just play half?
We get to play whatever you want, Coach. Here it is. The Coach's Choice, 20 minutes to 1. It is Guns N' Roses November Rain. We will play as much as we can until the boys get bored, you know, and then we'll go back to all the things.
See
We'll
in
go back to
5
all-
minutes.
Exactly. So good. Axl Rose, of course, Guns N' Roses, or Guns N' Toes as it's known now, because the coach came last week and showed us his feet and his arms, and everyone loved it.
I don't think it's ever going to be Guns N' Roses for me
It's
again.
Guns N'
From
Toes.
now on, it's Guns N' Toesies.
This is TMO with coaches John Plumtree and Grant Bashford. It's almost 1:45 on this Thursday, and we're going straight back into it. It's all rugby talk, and I believe we're looking at the Champions Cup final that happened this weekend, gents.
Yeah, the weekend just gone. Bordeaux versus Leinster in Spain. What a amazing occasion! You know, that stadium was unbelievable. It was hot. I think we were having 20-minute water breaks.
Yeah.
And the rugby was hot too, wasn't it? I mean, Leinster got off to a good start with an early try, but then after that it was just boom, 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 boom. Bordeaux just 3 or 4 tries before half time. What was it? 28-7 at half time or something like that.
Half time 35-7.
35-7,
35-7.
yeah, it's
But
almost
that
like
last
a
6
final.
minutes, so on the 35th minute, they had 21 points. They scored 2 tries between minute 36 and 40.
Yeah.
You know, and that sort of buried the
and
game
that
for
try
them.
just straight after half time intercept, wasn't it?
No, McCarthy scored first, so actually Leinster won the second half 12-6, which was good, but it was all over those last 5 minutes of the first half.
So
Put the game
let's
to
have
rest.
a look at a couple of the stats. I know one stat that stuck out for me was Bordeaux's defence, because everyone's talking about Bordeaux's attack, but Bordeaux's defence, because we sort of looked at the you know, coming up with a bit of a theme for that game. It was Bordeaux's efficiency versus Leinster high volume attack. So Bordeaux's efficiency, where were they so efficient, Bash?
Well, exactly what you just said, Plum. For me, I was going, geez, Leinster, can Leinster cope with Bordeaux's attack? But the biggest thing was their defence for me. They
Unreal.
just absorbed Leinster's shape.
93%.
And not just the 93%, which it was, but they made 215 tackles. So 93% with the 215 tackle count is massive. You know, generally if you're over 200 tackles, you have a light week, you know, because it's exhausted you. So for me, I wasn't expecting that from Bordeaux defensively. You know, I was expecting the attack, but the efficiency for me is, like we've spoken a lot about, that in goal 22, once you get in there, how efficient you are. Leinster had 11 entries into the 22 and walked away with 1.7 points per entry. It's not enough.
Very unlike Leinster.
Totally unlike them.
They were way off, but they got to give credit to Bordeaux's defence. When they hit hard. I mean, I looked at the ruck speed. So Leinster's ruck speed was 3.2 seconds. So every ruck that was on average was 3.2
that's not
seconds.
quick enough.
Too slow. Too slow, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
allowed the Bordeaux to get set. And Bordeaux are big, eh? Andy Good was talking about it before the game, just saying, when they ran passing, because he was commentating on the side of the field, when the Bordeaux boys ran passing, you could see a massive difference in size between the two teams. And Leinster, not small, big Irish forwards, you know. So it just shows you just the size does matter.
And I saw Victor Matfield had come out this week as well and said, look, Leinster with Jacques Nienaber, they've got a great defensive system, But if you can't knock people backwards because of physical side, then your system, there's nothing wrong with the system. It's just the physicality when you play against it. And that was sort of
Well, their speed of ruck ball was too
quick for them
second.
to get set and
Yeah,
get off
and
the
that's
line.
so that
Yeah.
didn't, so they're losing the collisions.
Yeah.
So with these backs, Biabari, brilliant. And the guy I thought for Fano,
Mofana, played really
Fofana
well.
was good.
I think he made 16 tackles or something, one of the highest
and
tacklers.
Actually, Jalabia was probably had a bit of a quiet day. He kicked a lot, didn't he? Their kicking meters was way higher than Leinster's. So the defence and kicking
So their
meters.
kick ratios, how's this? Leinster, 1 kick per 12.9 passes, opposed to Bordeaux, 1 kick per 4.3 passes. So it's almost like Leinster overplayed. They didn't get the balance of the game right for me. And, we were talking about efficiency, and we said Leinster had 11 entries at 1.7. Bordeaux only had 7 entries, but they walked away with 5 points per entry.
Wow.
And that's efficiency personified right there.
So it just shows you that in the game how stats can be so deceiving, can't they? Even though Leinster had the highest amount of rucks, they passed the ball 100 more times than Bordeaux. Bordeaux's defence got up, their kicking was better, and of course they just created those opportunities and finished them, where Leinster just didn't do that. So Leo Cullen, 5 finals in a row, and has lost them all 5. Is that time to change the coach, Bash? And you're a coach. So
well, there's only 2 teams that have made finals. Getting there's a very good effort for me. If you're in the
getting
finals,
there can be harder than winning.
Well, it is. On the day anything can happen. But I think when you lose 219 to Saracens, 2022 to La Rochelle, 2023 to La Rochelle, 2024 to Toulouse, and then 2026 to Bordeaux, there's always going to be a bit of a cloud.
Yeah, he picked up a lot of criticism afterwards for his his speech, where he sort of said it sort of came across like he was they were just happy to be there, where it was less disappointment. It was more of that we were here and we did well to get here. And I think that sort of got up the noses of quite a few Irish people. But we know Leo is a good man, he's a good coach. It'll be interesting to see what happens in that space, because you know what the coaching world's like. It's a little bit unpredictable, Bash. Did you notice?
No, we've all both been fired. So you've been fired more than me.
Not this week.
But it's part of coaching. If you're gonna put yourself in
uncoupling with the team.
If you're going to put yourself in the arena in the coaching world, it's going to happen. If you stay there long enough, it's going to happen. And I really hope it doesn't for Leo, because like you, I think they've won URCs along the way, despite these 5 losses and champions. So. But I do understand if
okay, we better move on, brother, because we've got 5 or 6 minutes left, and this weekend URC quarterfinals, top 8, big games. Friday night, Glasgow Connacht in Glasgow. Prediction, Bashman?
Well, I'm a Connacht man. I've told you that, but this weekend in Glasgow, I really. It's going to be tough for Connacht,
so you're not backing
So I'm not going to back my Connacht this week. The bookies have them at Glasgow at minus 11.5, for which those guys that don't know the punting game, it means Connacht have got Glasgow have got 11.5 point start. So it's not going to be.
I wouldn't go there.
No, nor would I. But what I'm saying is, I think all the home teams this weekend are, in my opinion, are going to be difficult to beat.
Both teams used to playing on 5G pitches. Going to be fast game. 9 p.m. Next game on Saturday. 1 p.m.
Bulls
Munster.
Yeah.
Your prediction there, Bashman?
Well, I see Munster's Jack Crawley, their fly half, is pulled out. He's injured, and I think that's a massive blow for them. Going to the Halfveld, playing it. Certainly, whoever decided to play that at 1 o'clock is definitely a big plus for the Bulls. So I'm seeing the Bulls walking away victors there quite comfortably.
I don't think it's going to be very comfortable at all.
Okay.
I think Munster are a great playoff side. I think the Bulls have come off playing 2 Italian teams. They've had another week off as well. This is not a great prep for this game. Munster got a lot of pride, and they've been under the pump a little bit with their performances this year. So I know Clayton McMillan, the Munster coach, pretty well.
He's at the Chiefs. He was at the Chiefs in New Zealand, wasn't
he? Yeah, so he'll have this team pretty fired up, ready to go, and I'm thinking this is going to be a tough match. 3:30, Stormers Cardiff. What's your prediction there?
Stormers. I know they're hurting from that loss away from home to Cardiff. It's a replay of their last game. they've got the 16th man, with that crowd in Cape Town. So I think the Stormers probably going to win by 10 points.
Do you think so?
I know you're going to go with Cardiff because I said Stormers, but I'll remember that you said that the Bulls are not going to win
I'm
as well.
I'm sticking with the local team. I think Stormers should win this game. I think they'll get the Cardiff through their set piece. And I think the Stormers at home are probably 20-30% better side.
That's
I think
right.
when they play away from home, they've although they had a good start to the season on tour, they didn't have a good tour recently, drawing with Ulster, losing to Cardiff. I don't think they'll be feeling overconfident either, so I think that might create a different edge in their preparation. They're playing a side in a quarterfinal they've just lost to, so I think those boys will be sitting on the edge of their seats all week in their meetings and stuff, and I think we can expect a pretty fired up performance from the Stormers pack particularly. Don't like the way the Stormers are playing at the moment as a rugby team, but I think their pack should get it over top of the Cardiff. Leinster Lions, last game, 9 p.m, way past our bedtime, but what do you think?
Oh, look, I think the Leinster, after what happened to them last week, will see this as a real opportunity to get back on the horse. Lions have picked up some injuries as well. Morné van der Berg, their Springbok scrum half, is out for 6 months with a knee injury. I see Ruan Fenta is also pulled out. So, difficult trip for them. They were there 2 weeks ago. They've been home. They're flying back to a wounded Leinster. And you know what it's like after a performance like they had last week. If they can play well this weekend, it seems like all the problems have gone away and you're back on the horse.
Well, they have to get back on the horse, but I'd be interested to see what type of crowd turns up for this game. They were playing them all at the Viva Stadium, aren't they? And they've just come off that loss, so it'll be interesting to see what type of support they get. But I think Leinster will get up against the Lions. Again, those injuries are a little bit disappointing. And again, the Lions haven't had a great prep, having the week off as well, and they didn't have a great tour, did they?
I actually thought that I didn't expect them to win any of those games on tour, but they were both close, The Lions are unpredictable.
They've had a great season.
I think they've had a good season. They've got continuity and selection bar these injuries I've mentioned. And if you ever, I know I've just said I think Leinster will jump back on, but they'll also be vulnerable, coming off a loss like that. They would have come home to massive disappointment, and the Dublin crowd obviously can go one of two ways for them, So it's not going to be easy, but I can't see Leinster dropping that. I see them by about 13 points clear.
Yeah. Well, good luck to the Lions. Good luck to the Stormers. And the Bulls, our local teams. I hope they all go well and progress through to the semis, and we're talking about them next week and the build up to semi-finals. Just a little bit of news around the world, Bashi. Scott Hanson been named the new Crusaders coach, ex-All Black. It was with Razor, and when he got binned, he obviously lost his job as well. But now being named the new Crusaders coach. He's a local, good man, Scott, good coach. Well, congrats.
What do you, and Plummy, good choice?
Yeah, good choice. Yeah, I mean, Brad Moore,
yes,
my mate.
Yes.
He was also in the running for that job, and he would have been a great coach as well for the team, and hopefully he'll carry on an assistant role with the team. But yeah, congratulations to Scott. Scott Barrett out for 5 months. He's going to miss the SA tour. Not good news for the All Blacks, Scott being the captain. And also, too, New Zealand hasn't got a great sort of surplus of locks at the moment.
Yeah.
So losing Scott's going to be, they'll have to dig deep into the barrel. It's going to be interesting to see, you're going to need probably 5 locks on a tour. 5 locks, maybe a loose forward that can cover lock for South Africa. So it's going to be interesting to see who they pick.
And a leader, he's the current captain of the team,
That's right. So Artie, Xavier and Cody Taylor are rumoured to be the next in line. I think Dave Rennie's keeping his cards pretty close to his chest in terms of where he's going to go in this space, but we'll probably find out next 2 or 3 weeks.
It's got to be Artie, surely, wouldn't you think?
Artie would be my vote, but Cody Taylor, I know he's a great guy, really good leader, he's a good man as well. But yeah, Artie's got this natural talent around bringing everyone together. It doesn't matter what culture, where they come from. He'll be a good captain for the All Blacks.
I like Artie. I think he's the man for the job.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens in that space. And just for Super Rugby fans, anyone out there watching Super Rugby, Canes, my team, Hurricanes, Go the Hurricanes. They finished on top, and
Geez, it wasn't even close, Plummy. I see it was like they had 55 points and Chiefs were on 46, so 9-point swing between first and second. And all top four, all New Zealand sides.
So they play the Crusaders this weekend, the Hurricanes, and they don't need to win. So
freshen some boys up.
Freshen a few boys up. So there's a couple of other big games, but the Hurricanes are qualified for home finals, home quarter, home semi, home final. And I'm picking it's going to be a repeat of 2016 when we coached the Hurricanes and won the title.
You and Boydie.
Yeah.
Geez, I watched that very closely. It was great to watch. I actually came and spent time with you guys in your pre-season camp that year. You know, so
you were
I
the
felt
lucky
like
charm.
No, I was your lucky charm. I think that
my
my
lucky
being
charm.
there with you
You're still my
made
lucky
the
charm.
difference.
You see what he's saying? Please, coach is telling you, you're
I'm
lucky
giving you-
charm.
No, I know that.
Touch hands
but
or
he
something.
doesn't. He doesn't.
Love each other.
You know what?
Romance.
Give us a bit of
Kerry,
hope.
you get one nice thing out of a million. It's not enough.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
just on that quickly, I
Yes.
see Highland is in 9th position. I
Yeah,
mean,
they've had a good year.
what happened there this year for them?
They've had a
Did they
couple
have
of-
injuries or
couple of injuries. Not
totally
a
out
good
of
season.
character for the Highlanders to finish 9th on any log? Any team coached by Jamie Joseph
Yeah.
is not used to finishing that low.
No, they won't be happy. But
Yeah.
roll on the Hurricanes, and that's the show for the week, Kerry.
Well
Thanks
done,
for everyone
boys.
listening.
All right, now we can
Excellent.
get the patients that I spoke.
Yes, we've got
about
patients
with,
ready and waiting.
Guns and toes.
Another Guns and Toes. We've got 2 Guns and Toes in a row. This patient specifically chosen by Bash because he reckons he needs the patience to work with John, right?
A lot of patience,
Lovely.
and so will you. You'll realise quite
Oh, is
soon
it?
what
Okay,
it's
'cause
like.
I'm still too
Only
fresh.
week 4,
I'm still in fresh legs.
5 according to Plum.
Exactly. You can catch this entire episode. It'll be up on our YouTube later today, as well as up on Spotify, as well as up on Instagram, as well as up on Facebook. And you can also catch episodes 1, 2, 3. You can see the development of these gents as they're getting more and more comfortable behind the mic. It's phenomenal. Thank you so much, guys. This has been TMO live on Radio Play ZN. It is almost 1 o'clock. And here it is, the final coach's choice. Guns and Roses with patience. Bye, boys.
Bye.
All we need is